Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Aisha Nazir. The topic of today's lecture is cache mapping types. In the previous lecture, we have seen and what is cache and what is cache mapping. In this lecture, we will see different techniques of mapping RAM data into cache. So let's get started. Cache mapping and its types. There are basically three main types of mapping, or you can say that there are three different techniques through which we can map RAM data into cache. So the first technique is direct mapping. Second is associative mapping, or we call it fully associative mapping. And the third one is set associative mapping. Let's explore the first technique. That name is direct mapping. Direct mapping. Suppose this is a memory. This is the main physical memory that named as RAM, random access memory. Data stores in RAM. RAM is divided into equal size blocks known as frames. As you can see that this RAM is divides into equal size block that known as frames. Data stores in RAM in frames in form of word. That is a measuring unit. As you can see that this is the main memory, and here we divide the memory in equal frames. Each frame is known as block. So the first block would be starts from 0, then block 1, then block 2, 3 and onwards, as much as block we want, as much as memory we have. So we divide the full memory into equal size of block and then numbering them, index them from 0 to onward. We measured the memory in forms of bytes. We know that. But in computer architecture terms, we use the term word to measure the RAM memory. So, as you can see in the given slide, we have 64 words. It means the main memory, the physical memory, the RAM space is 64 words. To represent memory, we use bytes or words. A single word size can be single byte, 2 byte, 4 byte, or 8 byte, or it can be multiple bytes. Data stores in RAM in form of words. So if we want to measure the RAM, that how much RAM we have, so we have to measure it in form of bytes or words. Main memory is divided in fixed size blocks and its size can be 64 words. For example, here assume that we have RAM memory that is called main memory 2, and we divide that memory and we assume that it can contain 64 words. For example, if we divide RAM in fixed size 32 blocks and each block can hold 2 words, so how many words will be in RAM? If we multiply 32 multiplied by 2, then it's equal to 64 words. So it means that if we have 64 words RAM, so how many blocks would be there? If each block has 2 words, so the other way is we divide 64 by 2, that would be equal to 32 blocks. So we will split memory into 32 fixed size blocks. Block would be starts from 0 and ends up to 31. Next is cache. We have defined main memory. Now the next is cache. The cache divides in lines. Main memory divides in frames while cache divides in lines. As we have discussed in the previous lectures, the concept of paging and segmentation, in which RAM and hard disk has the same frame size. RAM blocks known as paging frames, while on the other hand, on the hard disk, which is called virtual memory, the same blocks known as frames. In the same way, cache divides in lines. So if we divide cache into 4 lines, then each line can hold 2 words. So cache size would be 8 words. Always keep in mind that line size and block size must be same. If a block can save 2 words, then the cache must also be saved only. The size must be same. Now the concept is how we will map, how we will include 64 words of RAM into cache's 8 words. In this way, we will use direct cache mapping, in which we use a formula that makes operating system's task very easy to map main memory's big data map into cache memory. In direct mapping, we have to accommodate 8 words from RAM to cache at different places of cache so that each represents data on RAM completely. For this, we use a formula as K mod n, where K defines the number of blocks and n defines the total number of lines in cache. So let's understand it with an example briefly. So in the first example, as we have seen and we assuming that main memory size is 64 words. Each block has 2 words. Divide memory in equal size blocks. How we will got to know that how many blocks do we have? If we divide 64 words and the number of words in each frame, so 64 divided by 2 is equal to 32 blocks. So we have to make 32 blocks that will start from 0 to 31. This is the memory architecture. On the other hand, cache size is 8 words. It means we created 4 lines. The cache is divided into 4 equal lines and each line can have 2 words. So total is 8 words. Keep in mind the line size and block size must be same. And the other thing, in cache lines, the full blocks of main memory will be stored. As we have discussed in the previous lectures, as in the concept of virtual memory, that frame size should be equal to the page size, so that no internal fragmentation would be there. Easily the data from main memory can be shifted to cache. There would be there should be no any internal fragmentation. Each line can have 2 blocks. It means that we have already discussed that the line size should be equal to block size. As we will save 2 words in a block, in the same way 2 blocks will be saved in the cache line. As size restriction, we cannot bring all blocks in cache. So we have to import only those blocks which represents all blocks in RAM into cache and where we have to reside them. This is called mapping. In simple words, we are not going to import all the blocks in the cache. We will at one time import only those blocks in cache that represents the whole memory. And this is the infrastructure architecture memory. So here, as you can see, how we will got to know that which block will come at which location of cache. For this, we use a very simple formula that is used for direct mapping is K mod n, where K is the block number that starts from 0 to 31. The total blocks are 32, and n is the number of lines that are fixed, that are 4 lines. Block, how we will got to know that which block will come at which location of cache. For example, if we want to know that block number 1, where does it come in cache? So we will put block number 0 to the formula as k mod n block 0 mod 4. 4 is the total number of cache lines. So 0 mod 4 is equal to 0. It means the block number 0 will come at 0th indexed 0th line of cache. In the same way, the block number 1, that block, the block number 1, if we put the block number 1 in the formula, then 1 mod 4 is equal to 1. It means the block number 1 will come to the cache's line number 1. Again, the block number 2, if we put the block number 2 in the formula, then the second block number 2 mod 4 is equal to the third line, that's index is line 2. In the same way, 3 mod 4 is equal to 3. It means it will comes to the indexed line 3. Again, block 4 mod 4 is equal to 0. It means it will come at 0th line of cache. Then 5th mod 4 is equal to 1, means the block 5 will come here, block 6 will come in the second line, block 7th will come at the index 3rd line. So in the same way, if we continue, in the same way all blocks will come, block 28 will come at index 0, block 29th will come at index 1, and block 30th will come at line number 2, and block 31st will come at line. In this way, that direct mapping works. One important thing that needs to be noted, that in each line there can be only 2 blocks. Either it can be block 0, either it can be block 4, either it can be combination of block 4 and block 8, or it can be combination of block 8 or 12, or it can be combination of block 28 or block 0. But the possibility is there will be only 2 blocks. In the same way, there in line number 1, there can be possible that all the blocks can come there, but from all these selected blocks, there can be only 2 blocks at one time in cache memory. It can be block 1 or block 5. It can be block 5 or block 9 or onwards like that. In this way, we know that how the data from memory, from main memory, from RAM will come and accommodate in cache memory. In the direct mapping technique, we directly know that in line number 0, there can be possibilities like block 0, block 4, block 12, block 8, and onwards till block 28. But only these blocks can come in line number 0. Block number 5, it cannot come in line number 0 because it will come in only line number 1. In the same way, block 6, it cannot come in line number 0 because the location of block 6 is in line number 2 according to the formula. Right? So in this way, we directly map the data of RAM into cache memory. We know that the block 0, it will come in line 0, block 1, it will come in line 1, block 2, it will come in line 2, block 3, it will come in line 4, block 4, it will come in line 0, right? In this way, we directly map data from main memory to cache. Hopefully you understand the concept. Now the point is that how the CPU generates the address of RAM and cache memory. How the CPU got to know that which data resides at which location. So let's understand it. Let's take another example. So RAM has physical address. This is the RAM, and here are the blocks, and inside the block there are words, and we assume that each block can have 4 words. In the previous example, we assumed that each block can have 2 words, but in this example, we are assuming that each block has 4 words. So suppose the question is, RAM has 128 words. Then it needs 7 bytes to represent 128 words. How? How the CPU knows that to showing the 128 words we need 7 bytes? Because if we do 2 raised to power 7 is equal to 128. I am assuming that you have studied about binary calculation or binary conversion. So 2 raised to power 7 is equal to 128, which shows from 0 to 127. It means that the 128 words will be shown in 7 bytes. It means 128 words needs 7 bytes to show into the memory. It starts from 0 and it's at 127 words. So the physical memory address would be of 7 bits. So the physical address that the CPU generates consists of 2 parts. The one is block number and the second part is block offset or block size. Block number means which block. Block number 1, block number 2, block number 3, 4 or block number 31. While block offset shows what's the content in the block. Word 0, word 1, word 2, word 3 it in block 0, right? The same way word 4, word 5, word 6, word 7 it's in block B1, right? So the block offset shows the content of the block. So each block has 4 words. So how much it takes to show 4 words in block size? 2. Why? Because 2 raised to power 2 is equal to 4. So 4 words will be shown by 2 bits in address. So the block offset or block size would be of 2 bits. The rest 5 bits will shows the block number. So it will be total of 7 bits, right? So block number 5, block number shows by 5 bits, block offset shows or block content shows by the 2 bits. Suppose CPU generates an address 0001010. So first 5 bits shows block number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 00010 shows block number. So 01 is equal to 2. It means block number 2. Where is the block number 2? This is block 0, this is block 1, this is block number 2. So in block number 2, which word it's demanding? In block number 2, the next 2 bits, that is 10. 10 means again 2. It means the second index. Like in block number 2, the second index, 0th index, 1 index and 2 index. That is word 10. It means the CPU is demanding the word 10 in B2 block. CPU needs to read instructions of word 10 at block number 2. Hopefully you understand the concepts. Let's have a quick recap. On the RAM, the physical address consists of according to the words. In these examples, we take 128 words that starts from 0 to 127. So according to the words, the bits, the memory address of 128 words will show by the 7 bits, in which the 7 bits will be divided into 2 parts. The first part will be block number, which will be shown by the 5 bits. The first 5 bits in the memory address that is produced by the CPU will show the block number, while the rest 2 bits will show the content, block offset, content of the block. So in this way, the CPU generates the address and it reads the instructions, reads the data from the RAM memory. But The next question is how the CPU generates the address of cache memory. How the CPU reads data instructions from the cache memory. The concept is same, but there is a change. The change is in RAM there are two parts of the physical address, right? That is block number and block offset. But when the CPU reads data from the cache memory, the block offset will remain same as 2 bits, but the block number, it will be further split into two parts. What are these two parts? Let's understand it. So, how the CPU generates address of cache memory? It has a change in physical address, as address would be same as 7 bits, as because we have 128 words. So 128 words will be shown by the 7 bits. So the block offset will remain same as 2 bits. But block number will be divided into two parts as line number and tag. Line number is fixed, that is 4, because the cache has 4 lines. As we have discussed in the previous example, this is the previous slide that shows that the cache memory has 4 lines because it has 8 words. So it has 4 lines that starts from line 0, line 1, line 2 and line 3. Index starts from 0 to 3. It means 4 lines. So lines are fixed. Lines cannot be changed. It will remain same as 4. So related to cache memory, we assume that the cache memory will also accommodate 4 words, right? So there are 4 lines. So how many words will be in cache memory? If in RAM there are 128 words and each line has 4 words, and in cache memory we have 4 lines. If you remember, we have discussed that the cache size and the block size should be same. So the cache memory will have 4 words in each line. So there would be 16 words, right? So line number is fixed, that is 4 lines. 2 raised to power 2 is equal to 4. So the 4 lines will show by the 2 bits. It means the cache lines will show by 2 bits, right? So here the line number is fixed, that will show by the 2 bits. Block offset has 2 bits, line number has 2 bits. Now the rest 3 bits will show the tag. Now what is tag? Tag would be of 3 bits. Tag will tell that which block will come from all selected blocks. As we have discussed earlier, that there would be a possibility in direct mapping that block 0 will come at line 0, block 1 will come at line 1, block 2 will come at line 2, block 3 will come at line 3, right? So there is a selected blocks there. We have all possible blocks. So in these selected blocks, what the 4 blocks will come in cache memory? Which block words will be saved at this location? The tag shows this. Tag is basically shows by the 3 bits, and tag tells about from all possible blocks which block is present in the cache memory. So the tag can be like as 001 or 010, like that. So tag plus line number plus block offset, it makes 7 bits that tells which block is present in cache memory. So if the processor needs data instructions and it generates address, if this address matches to that address that's in cache memory, so it will call cache hit. If that block is available in cache memory, then processor will find it and easily read it. This is called cache hit. But if that word is not in cache, then what it will do? It will go to the RAM and it will read that instructions from the RAM, then that would be cache miss, because it will miss cache and it will go to the RAM. Then we replace that word by getting word from RAM into the cache memory, because the cache memory has the history of all recently executed instructions and data of the CPU. This is all about the direct mapping. Hopefully you understand the concept. Now the assignment is, you have to write 5 advantages and disadvantages of direct mapping. What are the advantages of using direct mapping and what are the disadvantages of using direct mapping? This is all about the today's lecture. Hopefully you grab the concept. Thank you very much.